All right, so when it comes to breakfast, the bigger the better. I'll tell you that every time. And the thing about breakfast is it tastes so good, it doesn't matter what time of day you're eating it.
Yeah, I know. In fact, my family loves breakfast for dinner, and today we're putting together a breakfast fit for a king, and we're getting some help from Ted DePtula from Nage Restaurant in Rehoboth Beach. And what we're making is
breakfast carbonara.
Carbonara. Okay,
Yeah.
What do we need? What ingredients do we need?
Well, we're going to start with some grits. We had these made already. The process is pretty simple. We steep some water with Parmesan rinds, those things you usually throw in the trash. We just covered them in cheesecloth so they didn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Made the broth and then put our grits in there. And when they're all nice and porridgey and thick, we check the seasonings and they're ready to go. We've also taken slab bacon. Slab bacon is something you could probably buy from your butcher. And it'll be a big piece. You can ask for 1 or 2 pounds. Make extra. This stuff's delicious. You're going to want to have it just sitting around.
Right.
And
That's Jimmy's piece right there.
That's
yeah.
my piece. I don't know what you're eating.
So we put that in a casserole dish with a little chicken stock and onions and just baked it low and slow for 2 hours until it was nice and tender. And you're lucky when you do this, you get 2 components. You get the broth and the bacon. So you can use the broth for things too, like soup, or we're going to add a little bit to the grits later on just to give it that extra addition of flavor.
Awesome. All right, so you're going to put us to work. I'm actually going to poach eggs.
That's right.
I've never done that before.
I would start by taking 2 eggs and one at a time, crack them, and I like to crack them on a flat surface. It just prevents getting so much shell into the egg itself.
Oh, okay.
And we like to crack them into a separate container. That way, in case you do get some shell, you have a chance to get the shell out. Which would be very convenient. And Jimmy, you can help us out by grabbing the bacon out of the pan, putting it on your cutting board, and getting us 2 nice slices. We call them rashers. It's a thicker piece. Still looks like a slice of bacon, but it's much thicker. And because this is braised and it's very tender, you're not going to have to worry about it being chewy.
All right. Look at that. 2
Now,
beautiful eggs.
If you were to get some shell in there, here's a
Which
really
I didn't.
Which she didn't.
She was very good at that. A good tip is to use the shell of the egg itself. Here.
Oh,
I just want to demonstrate here. The shell is actually very sharp and is meant to break that white. So you can use that to scoop little bits of egg out instead of using your fingers to kind of fish around, which is very inconvenient.
It is.
It makes you look kind of foolish sometimes. Like you just can't get it right.
I waste most of the morning doing that.
Now the water is at a steady simmer. You see a bubble coming up every second or so. That's perfect. You don't want it to be too hot. And before we add the eggs, we're just going to add a little bit of salt. You can use about 3 dashes or 3 pinches.
1, 2. Whoa.
Salt's funny. It actually raises the boiling point of water. So that's what you're noticing there. And then we have some vinegar right here. And that just helps set the white rather quickly. You can add all of it.
Add all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pre-measured there. So now that our water is set, it has its seasonings, we can add the eggs to it. Now, we put them in these dishes so that you can carefully drop them in there one at a time instead of trying to crack the egg right into the pot, and who knows where the egg's going to go. So just be careful and drop your egg in there.
Place it in there.
There you go, yep.
There it goes. Ooh, it's pretty.
And you could do the other one too.
Well, it kind of looks like a little ghost down there.
It doesn't hurt to do more than 1 egg when you're doing this recipe because you never know if the one doesn't work out. At least you have another one there.
It's always nice to have backup.
And I love these containers. You could stack them if you're doing 12, 10, stack them all up and it saves space. That way you can get to do all your eggs. Nice. Now, Jimmy, we're going to have you start searing this bacon.
Okay.
We're going to put a little oil in the pan.
Did I do this right?
Yeah, they look
right enough.
Nice. Looks like you followed my commands.
Sort of. Great. Kind of. As close as I could.
Exactly.
All right.
So yeah, we're going to put the bacon in there. Do 2 slices in there. And it's going to sizzle away, and that's what we want.
Thick. Is that okay?
That's going to be delicious.
And while you do that, while you sear your bacon, I'll let everyone know there are several ways you can get the shopping list and instructions on how to make this recipe. You can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland 21801. You can go to our website, delmarvalife.com, or you can call us at 443-880-9116.
Yeah, so our bacon's working here, gonna get a little caramelization. We have the grits in a pot right here, and I mentioned earlier we're gonna take some of this broth. We're just gonna spoon a little bit of it into the grits, and that's just gonna add that last little bit of flavor. It's not in the recipe, that's just the chef's trick. Kind of an ode to culinary tradition. And we'll stir them around and get them to the right consistency. It's always good to taste things several times as you're cooking them to make sure they're seasoned just the way you want them.
Don't have to tell me that twice.
The chef sometimes is always the last one to eat, so he or she needs to eat along the way to sustain.
Just to make sure.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So we let it all cook for how long?
The grits cook for about 45 minutes. We use
Okay.
stone ground grits, which have a coarser texture but much more flavor. Some of the fats in the corn stay with it. So they're oftentimes stored in the refrigerator or freezer as well if you do make the choice to buy such high quality grits.
All right.
But they take a little longer to cook.
Can we go ahead and plate this up and
Yeah,
get it ready
we're about
to eat?
to. We're going to take these eggs out of the poaching liquid. You can use this slotted spoon. We'll
Okay.
transfer it to a plate that has a napkin on it. That way the eggs can dry properly.
Oh, wow,
go.
that really looks good.
Yeah, it does.
And we're going to,
I'm not going to hurry you along here, but I'm short of time, so
okay.
see what's really happening as I'm hungry.
Yeah, sure. We're
We
going
all
to
know
spoon
that.
some of our grits in there. And if you'd like, grate some Parmesan right on top of those.
Right on top.
Yep.
How my eggs
Any
looking?
particular way that I should do it? I mean,
They look
can I just do like
just
this?
fine. There you go. Just
Good there?
keep going. You want to be,
A lot?
yeah, you don't want to skimp here.
No skimping with the Parmesan.
There, that looks great.
Good there?
Yeah, and we'll just flip this bacon now that it's nice and warm. Okay, and let's get a nice big chunk on there. That looks delicious.
Where's my fork?
Awesome.
I do
And
with my fork?
let's throw a few more garnishes on. Some scallions. You want to sprinkle some scallions on top?
Tell me what to do quick, because I'm getting hungrier by the moment.
All right.
Here's your fork, Jimmy,
Thank you.
with your.
And a nice poached egg. And anytime I
Thank you.
anytime I poach an egg, I always put a little pepper on top. That could be cracked black pepper, or that could be a little chili pepper, which is what I like. And then we made a little maple vinegar. This is just maple syrup and vinegar that's been reduced down,
Yeah.
and that gives it that little punch of acid that we're going to need.
All
Okay.
right.
And that is a complete dish.
Are we ready to go in?
Yep.
Let's
Oh,
go
good.
in.
Complemented by some grapefruit with some
My
honey. I think
goodness,
that'll
that is
that'll
awesome.
do you right,
And
breakfast,
it
lunch,
looks,
or dinner.
it looks nice. It does. Yeah, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That looks absolutely wonderful. So,
You
And
went
it
right
is
for that
absolutely
bacon.
wonderful. I went right for the bacon. Still ahead on Delmarva Life. It's time for the final clue in our Where is Brian guessing game this afternoon. Brian, let's have it.
bring it.
Well, here is your second and final clue. Clue number 2, a notable doctor is a native of the town. Think about that for a little bit and I'll reveal where I am when we come back.